Hi, we're here for the WebRTC Insights around WebRTC M107 release notes. With me is Philip Henke, and this is what you should know about this release. Philip?
Good. So M107 is upcoming and it gets released next Tuesday. So we're getting the release notes 1 week ahead of the actual release,
Okay,
which,
it might,
if you needed to
which is,
prepare, would be a bit short notice. But
I guess it's a very long notice if you compare it to what we had with version M06,
right, we had
M106, which no release notes.
no release notes again.
And the interesting thing is that nobody seemed to care.
Well, I stopped
So,
caring mostly because we do this video and I
mhm,
do my own release notes. And if there's a regression, I use bsides build. So
okay. I guess the main problem is that it's a question of a chicken and egg. Is that because we don't expect these release notes, so we don't care anymore, or is it because they're not good, or is it just because we really don't need them? I'd go with the fact that they're not that informative and
mhm,
they're not coming in a timely fashion.
yes. Yes, so they're
Anyways,
not as useful as they used to be.
yep. So we are in M107. Is it more features or more stability? This specific release.
Well, we're generally in a phase of stability, but it actually has some nice features around screen sharing. So I would say this
Mhm.
is a features release.
I guess we got a hint from the actual release notes that had this generic sentence in it saying, well, we have 9 new features and 22 bug fixes.
Yes, that's what the header says, and that's what some of the bug descriptions say. But if you look at the actual features, some of them are just very old features that had new commits added to them,
Hmm.
and they're not new features at all.
Okay. And luckily for us, Google doesn't provide any good release notes, so people need our release notes video in order to understand what's there. Okay. So let's start with the first one. What are the things that people should investigate about this release?
As we've touched base in our fiddle already, it's a lot of statistics optimizations. So GetStats got less codec statistics mainly, and actually the stats IDs changed.
Hmm.
So that is a big thing that should be tested at least now, unless you're
Yep.
wanting to test it in stable in production.
The
And the
ideas
other
are
thing,
they just killed us in test RTC. We had a lot of work around that.
yes, I had to do some work in my WebRTC dump importer. It is, you shouldn't rely on them, but we did. Everyone did.
Yep.
Yes, there's some fun new stuff in coming in 108 for that.
Hmm.
Changes to WebRTC internals and how it displays the statistics and the ID and the type.
Hmm. Okay.
But we
And then
also
the
have
second thing.
new screen sharing APIs. This has been a thing which
Okay.
has been ongoing for a year and a half by now. That Need is wanting to get a better screen sharing experience, so they put a lot of effort into that.
I can say that my own experience with that is that I use it a lot more with Google Meet these days. So my life almost revolves around Google Docs and Google Sheets and Google Slides and whatever. And now when I'm inside Google Meet sessions and I know that I need to talk about a document, I would go to the document and pull over the call into, let's call it into the document to share the screen there, which makes it a lot, I think it's a nice experience at the end of the day. And it's
Yes,
worth pursuing for other applications as well.
yes. Obviously, they have the benefit of very tight integration between both applications.
Always.
Yes, which is good for them.
And what should we beware of?
All things statistic. As you said, the changes to the IDs broke a ton of things, and it's not very obvious sometimes what broke.
Yep. For us, it
So
was trying to figure out where do we find the old stuff in their new places and how exactly do we come to find them yet again inside the statistics and how to do that across different versions because you'll have this cutoff point where some browsers use the old ones, some the new ones, and some are just not Chrome.
yes, Lots of fun.
Yep. And then what should you disregard?
Everything else. There are a lot of small cleanup things, but nothing important.
Okay. So thank you. And hopefully we'll see you next month when we might talk about M108, assuming Google actually issues a release note for that.
Yes, I would love to talk about the WebRTC internals changes.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.